In this little adventure, I'm going to take you with me to go all the way from Nicaragua to Brazil. In this, we're going to cross by foot into Costa Rica, and we're going to reach Brazil in time for Carnival. Morning guys, it is 6:20 a.m. I've been up for about an hour and my taxi just got here. Today is the day that I fly to Rio. Close this hotel, make sure I grab all my stuff. I made a mess actually before I left. Alright, but yeah. Oh, buenos dias. My friend Roberto just got here. He'll take me to the border with Costa Rica. So in the morning, I had to use like 6 pads of gauze to do my wound cleaning routine. So yeah, driving to Costa Rica, crossing the border, then going to the airport, and then flying from Costa Rica down to Panama, and then on to Brazil. So let's go.
Sí, la policía. Sí, aquí.
This is the parada de extranjeros, para Tico Bus. Aquí está la silla de otra extranjera que va directa. Chao chicos, que les vaya bien. ¿Peñas blancas? Peñas blancas. ¿Y cuánto tiempo toma desde acá?
Media hora o
Media hora.
25 minutos.
So as we're driving, we're passing Lake Ometepe's on the left, and it's super windy here. Like, driver rolled down the window. He's telling me all about it. It's very interesting, nice guy. But like, we can see all of these. Okay, I guess not right here, but there's a ton of the wind turbines. And actually, this lake is very famous for kite surfing. Wow. Enorme.
Sí,
Y allá atrás el volcán.
sí, el volcán. Son
Wow.
dos volcanes.
Son dos.
Sí, pero todos.
Otro no se ve de aquí.
Es un lago de agua dulce. No es como el mar salado. Esta es agua normal.
Wow. La naturaleza aquí de Nicaragua no deja de sorprenderme. Hasta tiene cocos. So I guess we've officially approached the border area. Over here is the duty-free shops, and it looks like a bus stop too. And through here. Alright guys, I just got dropped. Behind me is the border area, so you can see there's that tall building all the way at the back. That's where they're going to do the check, but I'm going to stop right here right now and get some breakfast. Hey guys, so I'm here, and I'm literally like a walking pharmacy. I've got my saline solution, my whatever that is, the cleaning stuff that stings when I put it on, and I'm going to show you guys my injury, but first I'm going to show you the restaurant. So this is where I'm getting breakfast. I'm getting like a big Nicaraguan breakfast with, what's the word? Coffee. And I showed her all of the cash that I had, and she said it'll be enough, so that's perfect, and then I'll walk across the border. So the last thing I'm going to show you. Alright guys, today is a very lucky day, because I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of how to get a motorcycle injury. And the keyword is ins, because if you look closely, I'll show you the inside of my leg, because I got a 2nd-degree burn. Alright, enjoy everyone. Is my wound. If you don't like seeing open wounds, then this is the time to turn away. But here's what I got so far. So I'll explain the situation a bit. Like, it's getting way better. You know, doctor tells me that it's healing properly. ChatGPT, Claude both confirmed this. So thank you to the 3 of you for your input. Yeah, right now it looks pretty red, but this actually means that the skin underneath it is growing back. So to recap, I suffered a 2nd-degree burn falling off of my motorcycle and having my leg apparently fall and get stuck on the hot motor. Perhaps there was oil leaking because it went through the first layer of skin and made a hole in the 2nd layer of skin. Today, I performed the full cleaning myself for the first time since I left. Like, this yellow layer that grows on top of it fully came off. I peeled it off with the cleaning thing, and I was like, oh, is that normal? And then I looked it up and asked the doctor, and he said, yes, it is normal, 2 to 3 weeks since the fall for it to be fully covered. So while I'm here, I'll just share a bit of my reflections, having spent what I plan to spend a week in Nicaragua, and it's been about 3 weeks, and I've had an excellent time, you know, so great to the extent that I bought a land here. It's really lovely, like, total hidden gem, because Costa Rica is super famous, super expensive. But here, like, the nature is basically the same. Drove past Ometepe, which I didn't have time to visit. Huge volcanic lake with 2 different volcanoes inside of it. There's volcanoes everywhere. When I was in Aposentillo, I was making videos of the sunrise over the volcano. Like, super impressive. Plus, like, I mean, I'm here, my last Nicaraguan money is about $3, and she said that's enough to get me like a full breakfast of gallo pinto, which is like eggs, avocado, rice and beans, cheese, coffee, for $3. And like smiling, happy, like, you know, good vibes, friendly people. Yeah, the last thing that I want to share is like I spent, you know, 4 days now in Popoyo, and I was comparing Popoyo to Aposentillo. I think like they're both, you know, kind of on the tourist, not the tourist trail, the surfer trail. Aposentillo I think is much better for surfing, and here's why. One is confirmation bias, like I've already purchased land, so I gotta justify to myself that that was the right one. Popoyo I think is already developed and developing much faster, which I like the, you know, quiet, rural style. But I noticed that in Popoyo, like while it's very famous for surfing, there's really only one beach where the waves are. Maybe if you leave Popoyo there'll be more, but there was like a beginner's break that was full of people doing classes, and then there was the main break, which was just one wave that was full. Like everybody had to fight to get a wave, and like excellent surfers who I met said that they would get 2 waves in a 3-hour session. And as I contrast to Aposentillo, there were lots of waves and lots of empty waves, and you can drive 5 minutes up or down the coast and find your own set of waves. Yeah, I think Popoyo was cool, like really good for party. Like it's definitely a party destination. More so, I think, like if you want a nature surf destination, I would choose Aposentillo. And if I were to go back, I would probably choose Aposentillo. But it is, you know, less people. So that's the story. Today's plan is crossing into Costa Rica, which I will do as soon as I eat. And then I'm eating on the side because Costa Rica is expensive as fuck. I paid $55 for the ride from Popoyo directly to be dropped at the border here. And then I'm probably going to pay $250 or so to be driven from the border directly to the airport so that I can make my afternoon flight to Rio. So if you're going to be in Rio for Carnival, well, you're going to see this video after it's all over. So I guess I'll see you next year. Hey guys, so this is what $3 gets you. This black coffee, tortilla, 2 fried eggs, gallo pinto. Oh, I guess maybe rice and beans. I don't really know what it's called on this huge avocado. So with that, let us dine, folks. We're crossing the border from Nicaragua into Costa Rica with an open wound. It stopped bleeding a couple hours ago, so I'm gonna clean it up because there's dried blood all over my leg. And then we're gonna cross it. I'm still at the breakfast restaurant, so let's see how to treat an open wound while you just finish breakfast. Step 1 is you take your saline solution. Step 2 is you take a napkin. Double napkin. Step 3 is you act natural. And muy bueno, gracias. So once you wet the napkin, you just wipe off the dried blood. Rub, rub, rub. Well, that didn't work as smooth as I thought because now I've got a little piece of napkin all over my leg, but I guess that's better than a long trail of blood. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here, folks. Let's go across the border. Need my passport. Let's get out of here. Alright, let's go. Got my phone, got my backpack, got my shoes, got my passport, got my credit card. And I sense I'm not going to be able to film much because they're very particular about cameras here. So as soon as I get the first indication of that, I'm going to put my camera away. I guess this is where the trucks go through to pass into Costa Rica. Yeah, there's quite a line here. Alright guys, so we're out of that building and we're going to start walking in the direction of the salida de Costa Rica, para Costa Rica. Had a bit of a scare because when I was putting my bag through the X-ray to leave, I guess the guy behind me, who also put his bag in, was carrying binoculars, which set off their radar and they wanted to check everybody's bag. And I put my camera in there so that they didn't make a deal about having the camera like open. And then the guy did make a deal. But then when he found the binoculars in the other guy's bag, he let me go. So they're like filling out a form or something. Welcome to Brazil. Here in Rio have little patience for crowd. Well guys, this is how you take a train in Rio de Janeiro. We broke the escalator.